Welcome home, honey. Took your sweet time. Psych.
Welcome back, everybody, to the podcast. We're here with another slow week as this quarantine continues, but we have some stuff to talk about. What's a better way to bring it up? Let's start it off with you, Adam. You've been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, man. What's going on with that?
Like kind of like I told you in the chat, man. I've been playing the original side by side a couple days before I actually got the remake in the mail because I didn't get it day one. And just so I can refresh myself, I've played the game before a couple times, but it was a very long time ago, so I just want to be refreshed for it. And first going into it, I was like, okay, this game is very aesthetically pleasing. Like the combat system is great. I'm really enjoying it as far as that goes. But since I've been playing the original, I'm taking really good note of, some of the changes in the plot. At first, I really was not for the game. I was just like, you know what, man, I'm just going to play it to play it, but I don't really care. This might be one of my least favorite Final Fantasies, at least, story-wise. But going through it and seeing what they're doing with all the characters in the mercenary group Avalanche, I'm really enjoying it, man. And specifically, it's because of Jessie. Jessie is 100% my girl, our girl. Like, man, she made me a believer, dude. But, also besides that, like, it is really good game. Like if you're new to the franchise or just Final Fantasy, 7 in particular, I think a lot of people will like it if they enjoy hack and slashes. That's pretty much what the game is. There's a lot of really cool things you can do, as far as like the materia goes. And there's a lot of really cool mix-ups since you can just interchange your characters, back and forth.
Also, like how much different like content or like how much new additions do they provide into like the newest remake in comparison to like the the original?
A lot.
Is it like a lot? Is it like additions onto stuff that's already there, or is it like new stuff that like you've learned about that you never would have like heard of from the original?
No. So it's just new stuff that they just threw in there. It doesn't add to the lore at all because I know the Final Fantasy lore pretty well. So that's why I'm like being really critical about it, and I didn't play the demo for a reason. And I'm going into it as completely vanilla as possible, like not really looking to see what some of the last trailers gave out. But and like I think my game time right now is about 6-7 hours for the original, and I'm just now got to that point in the remake, well, relatively close to it, and it's been about 13-15 hours. So you can, and that's all because of just new things you can do. Like you have to go and do little jobs for people, like actually be a mercenary, which I at first like, okay, you know what, that's fine. It reminds me of Kingdom Hearts 2 where you start off the game as Roxas and you're kind of going through making money and doing all those weird jobs. So it brought me back to that, but all this new stuff, like with Avalanche, never seen it before. Because I don't want to give a spoiler, but with what happens to that group in particular, it was really nice to see like the personality of these characters, because you don't get very much of that in the original. They're kind of just there and then they're gone.
They're just hired mercenaries and they kind of help you out for doing the mission and
Right. So it's nice to see that. There are a few changes like to the actual like base like source story that I don't really agree with right now. I'm still gonna wait until I complete the entire game to give a full like review on it, because I have hope maybe they could bring it all back around like by the end of this first part of the game, which again, since I know the original game, that's not that much of the start of Final Fantasy VII, the original. Like you pretty much can get through Midgar and all that in, like 10 hours. So I was really concerned about that, but seeing what they've done with it, some of it's fine, it works out, but as far as like the actual like base material, there's some differences I don't want to fully disclose right now, in case the people don't really know what the original was. I recommend going and playing it. Yes, it will be turn-based. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I think it's worth knowing where the story originated from, and then seeing what the differences are, and then make your own opinion from there.
Okay.
But overall, it's an enjoyable game.
Okay.
Despite my feelings with the lore, it is really fun.
Is the real time combat kind of the same as the like any of the newer Final Fantasies that are out? It's like is it just like pure hack and slash, or do you have like any like cool mechanics like combos? Or
So it pulls off this kind of like DMC vibe where you can put elemental abilities or like affinities onto your weapons. So you could have like fire attached to your Buster Sword like for a certain amount of time. And there's like a lot of neat things you can do. I haven't really started playing around with them yet because I'm still just grinding out some quests, but it looks like a lot of really cool ideas. I'm fully with it.
That brought up another question for me, because I know like when you play like the older Final Fantasies, it's turn based, and when you're playing against like the enemies, you have they have a weakness, and you have like certain elements like work against them. Is that like, would that work in this current system, like real time combat, where if you have a certain element, would it be stronger against a certain enemy,
Yes.
or does it not matter?
Yes, it'll definitely work out. The reason for that being is that there's a materia you can get, which is pretty much like Scan, if you've ever played the original Final Fantasy games, where it pretty much tells you like what the monster is weak to. So you can, and once you max out that materia, you can actually see every single monster's weaknesses instead of just one, which is nice. So you can just toggle back and forth. You'd be like, okay, well this one's weak to to ice, so I could probably give Barrett some ice affinity, on his machine gun, and to say another one is weak to lightning. So now I can have Barrett just attack the other one, and then I can have Cloud with a lightning affinity on the Buster Sword attack another one. So it does work out.
Oh, okay, so you can have like a meta build for your team, I guess.
Yeah. I know you're pretty new to it, Danny. I think you'll like it a lot. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Yeah, man. I like the demo. It did take some getting used to combat wise, because it's not really something I've played like that before. But yeah, I haven't grabbed it up yet. I'm still waiting on that. I'm barely getting back into Neo, and oh my god, man, if we're talking Neo, dude, some of those levels are just fucking huge. So I'm gonna be a while on that. Yeah, you can find it at twitch.tv/Negator7. And so we're talking streams. Adam, you're still streaming some Smash, correct?
Yes, I am. That's typically what I've been streaming most days since, because of Rona. I miss my boys, man. I miss all you guys. So I feel like streaming Smash is just like, a good way for us to still, talk smack and hang out and have a good old time.
Oh, Adam, I was going to ask you for FF7 Remake. Have you seen any stuff from like Crisis Core and like the other spin-off games that are canon to the original series?
No.
Oof.
And yeah, no, nothing yet. Nothing for spin-offs. Although I remember reading something on Twitter. Can't remember what the source was, but they had said in an interview with Nomura that he does have a plan for them, but he didn't really give any detail on it. Which that's fine, because I think the main focus right now is it should be just the base game.
Mm-hmm.
Since it is split up in 3 parts. But I feel that if they are going to include, something of the spin-offs in here, the first one would have to be Crisis Core, because, I mean, Zack is the reason why Cloud has the Buster Sword to begin with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And seeing the rise and fall of Sephiroth and Jill in Genesis, like all those main characters that were in that game, I think it's really important. But we'll see. I haven't even seen a Zack reference yet in this game.
It's coming
And-
up. From what I heard in the game, there's a scene between Cloud and Aerith, and there's no essential name drop, but you get the gist, and Cloud gets the gist of it as well.
Yeah, she's, because I just got her like a little while ago. She's been hinting at a couple things that I'm like, okay, obviously I know what the context is, but when I went through the scene in the original, she says something, and I'm like, hey, that's literally the line I'm waiting for, and I'm right up to where that scene is supposed to happen. Like, I think it's my next cutscene.
So, like, speaking of spin-offs, I wanted to ask you this question, Adam, since you know the most about the Final Fantasy universe. You know how they have the Cydia, and it's like the culmination of like almost every Final Fantasy character into one game.
Yeah.
Have you ever would you ever want to see like a game where they do not necessarily like a spin-off, but like another game where they include characters from other games, but it's like actual lore and like they're interacting with each other, and you play like a story-based game off their interactions from each other? Or is that kind of like does the Cydia hinted at that like a little bit? I'm not sure if that's something like the Final Fantasy fan base would want or not. So I wanted to ask you,
I
like,
would say
how do you feel about it?
I would say the only thing close to that would be Dissidia, because it
Do they have
because
interactions like that?
No, they unfortunately not. I mean, there's themes that are noted throughout all Final Fantasy games, and I mean, there's the summonings as well that are the same for the most part. But as far as like a collaboration of all those heroes and villains, Dissidia would be the only one, and I think it works the best in that kind of setting. You know, I don't know how they. I mean, there's also the mobile Dissidia game too, which I think is pretty fun since it has a lot of characters I wish were in the actual Dissidia games. But you know, and that I guess if they so I'm gonna retract. If they had made like an RPG style game, turn-based.
Mm-hmm.
Of the mobile game Dissidia, it would work out phenomenally well, probably better than the base Dissidia game, because it would be original and it would encompass all these characters. And I think from what I can remember, the story for the mobile game was actually pretty interesting. I mean, it was the same as Dissidia, but they played it off a little bit better.
Also, I think like the mobile games are like really like the best testing ground to see like, oh, would this kind of concept work or not? And, like in terms of applying like stories or like experimenting with like stuff that it's not like it's gonna hugely impact the fan base, and also they're not like losing any money from like applying resources into it, because they're not like putting 3D textures or like all these like intense animations. It's just like a one animation. Or like some pixel art, and that's about it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Yeah. So I mean, how do you feel about like if they did do something like that? Like, I would decide to like you see Cloud like interacting with like I don't know Lightning, or you see like Cloud interacting with Noxus or something like that.
I would be happy with it. I mean, we get that in the Dissidia NT, and also if you play the original Dissidia games. There's really, really great cutscenes between the heroes and then the heroes that they chose to be with each other. It makes a lot of sense. Their personalities go so well together, and I feel like someone just got like a really good fanfic and then pitched it over to Square. They're like, hey man, you should do this, because it's a lot of it works really well, but I think it really just depends on.
I just think like the concept would be just like so interesting when you see like I don't know Titus and like he's butting heads with like another character from a different like another protagonist in another series. Like he's butting heads with Noctis or something over like some stupid thing.
Well, see, that's what I really liked about the second Dissidia game, Duodecim, because it reversed some of the roles. So you would have specifically Titus. We all know he's a hero in his base game, but in the beginning of Duodecim, he's actually a villain, and his dad is the hero. And his dad is actually Yuna's guardian instead of Tidus being her guardian. So there's little things like that. I think Cloud is also a villain. No, Sephiroth is a hero as well as Cloud. Yeah, it was crazy.
Wait, Sephiroth's the hero?
There were certain scenes where he was the hero.
That's gotta create a paradox.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, it like the second Dissidia game was fucking phenomenal, man. It was great. Like all the new additions of characters were great. I mean, we had our girl Tifa in there too, and man. But yeah, it was. I will say if your Vita still works and you want a really good game like that, Dissidia Duodecim, really good.
I will also say if you guys have been checking out Twitter, there is probably I have seen like a gender bent Cloud and Sephiroth, and there's some stuff out there. I'm not gonna put out.
Look, man, the internet is a crazy place. It's even crazier when people are so bored, like in this the strange time we're in.
Yeah, and this really is the best time to just like pull out like all the sort of fan related stuff.
Good question though, Carl. But yeah, Dissidia Duodecim.
Nice. So, would you say I should I go straight into remake and then get into the original lore?
Yeah. Uh, you know, I would actually say play the original up to where you leave Midgar, just so you can see what was the source material for just what this game was meant to have. Because in this first part, we're only getting to the end of Midgar, which in the base game it's not that far, and there's actually not even a lot of side quests like in between that time anyway. So I would say just do that. I mean, you'll probably get through it in like 10, 13 hours if you're just running through. And then start the remake, just so you can see what the differences are. You can appreciate, them changing from turn-based over to the new combat system. But yeah, that's definitely what I would recommend. Especially because
they still have the.
real quick, Carl, but especially because with this combat system and these missions that you can do, you're gonna get stuck in them. Like, I mean, in a really good way. Like, they're just a lot of fun. Like fighting Shiva, man, that was a great first summoning battle that I've ever had to do, like in a long time. So,
so yeah, I was gonna ask. So did they still have the turn based in the remake?
Kind of.
Technically, I've heard about it. Just I never seen.
So it's all active combat, right, Carl? But what you can do is you could pull up your menu, and that slows down time. And then you can do like your turn-based stuff then.
Oh, but you wouldn't say it's not like true turn-based.
No.
Oh, absolutely not.
No.
Well, okay, there's one factor in it that you could argue that it might be, which is, I mean, you have your ATB gauge, which you can just do regular attacks up until you get like one out of the 2 bars full.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can argue, okay, well, it's turn-based in the way that I have to wait for this bar to go up, and then I can use an ability, or I can use a spell, or I can use an item. You know what I mean? But then it kind of goes into a gray area because, say, an enemy attacks you, it stops your, whatever you were trying to do. Versus in a regular turn-based game, unless you've fallen asleep, your attack will still go through, or you're paralyzed or something. Or someone, casted silence on you and you can't use any of your magics.
I see.
So it's yes and no. More, in my opinion, heading more towards no.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I knew a friend who was like, they're super gung ho about the fact, like, oh, I hope there's turn based, and they're probably a little disappointed now. It's a remake for
yeah.
us.
If that friend wasn't me, Carl, because I've been like yelling at my screen like, why can't I just wait? I want patience. No,
Let me go.
It is fun though. I do enjoy the combat system a lot, but like you said, it's a remake. It's not going to be one for one.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think it is better that way, honestly.
And speaking of remakes, we did talk about this on the last episode, and just to let you guys know, we recorded this a few days before we uploaded, so if we missed some news, it's because, it was right after we recorded. But yep, like I guessed, there's rumors right now that RE4 is coming in 2022. They supposedly been working on it since 2018, which... RE4, yeah, they're making a remake for Resident Evil 4. That's the current rumors from multiple sources, from what I saw. And yeah, working on it 2018, which kind of makes sense because they were probably doing this around the same time RE2, when they were working on that. And then, a year later, RE3, they go into production for that. And from what I saw, I think they said there's like a new team working on the new director working on this. Some people from the RE3 remake on this. And it could make sense, right? To how Julian said last week, RE3 remake was so short. It's because they have their mind set on this game because it's RE4,
Right. No, I'm excited, and I'm not excited only because, just the way the remakes have been going for Resident Evil in particular. I don't remember some of these games being as short as they are in their newer edition.
Mhm.
But again, I haven't
Mhm.
played, specifically 2 and 3 in a very, very long time. My most recently replayed, Resident Evil games would probably be the first Resident Evil 1 for the GameCube, and then Resident Evil 4 and 5. So my memory on that is shot. But as far as 4 goes for the remake, I've beat the crap out of that game. So I don't know. They would have to do it well. I don't know if if a 1-for-1 would be successful, but it would be ideal.
Yeah, I mean, so far they haven't been 1-to-1. So I mean, we'll just see. We'll see. Because I think fans for RE4 wouldn't. I mean, of course they're gonna grab it up. People are gonna grab this game up. But if it's 1-to-1, I don't think it's gonna get as much praise as it probably would if they change things up a bit.
Right. I completely agree. That's why I say it's for me it's ideal only because I love the game so much. But there's a couple things in the rumors that I'm excited about, like that they have some platinum guys working on it. Which, I mean, RE4 changed the game for action sequencing in Resident Evil in general. It was the first one who really tried doing that, and it did a phenomenal job at it. And then we had Resident Evil 5 where you have fucking Michael Bay scene where Chris is punching a rock. But
No,
yeah, watch that end scene, Carl, if you haven't seen it before. It's literally the end of the game. Like, just type in Chris Redfield punches rock, and you're gonna see it, and it's crazy. But
I'll definitely look that up then.
yeah, if you need a good laugh.
So now everybody's mind right now is, when does this stop? When do they stop doing remakes? And here's even the bigger question: if they stop at 6, are they gonna completely change 6 or not? Because a lot of people don't like that game.
Yeah, that's one I still have not finished because it was hard for me to play.
Hmm.
I don't know if it was just a story, but it was hard for me to get used to it.
Yeah, I think if they were to keep going to 5 and 6, it's gonna end at 6, right? Because then you have basically the entire series, the mainline series of this franchise, using the RE engine. So I could see them. I mean, I don't know. Like 4 was the main goal from the beginning. I feel like, right, because it's the biggest game. It's the It's the highest rated game, right? The most sold.
Exactly.
Game. So, is there even a point to continue on? And we know that's not in their minds right now because the rumors also resurfaced for Resident Evil 8. We got a little bit of new information. The title for the game is supposedly Resident Evil Village, right? And the reason they call it Village is to keep the Roman numeral motif from 7, right? So Village has the 8 in there. And still vampires. You're continuing off with the main character from 7. And I think they said witches is going to be in the game.
Witches.
I saw something about some more like mythological creatures, like maybe even a werewolf.
Yeah, werewolves are the big one. That's been consistent in the rumors, so that might happen. But I listened to Pat and Wooly talk about it on Castle Super Beast, and they were saying like, yeah, well, I forget which game they brought up for Resident Evil, but some characters claim that they saw magic happening, but it turns out it was just viruses. Like it was just a virus giving them these hallucinations. So that might still be connected here in RE8. And they kind of did that in 7. I don't remember if you beat that game or not, Adam. But like all the stuff that goes on, they explain like, yeah, this is just like a virus, just like usual Resident Evil stuff.
I still have not gone back into beat 7, but that is on my list to play this year. I don't know if I want to torture myself and play the VR or if I want to go through the game.
You don't need to play the VR.
Normal person. No, man, because when I got the VR, I tried it out. I was like, okay, well, this is actually, VR compatible. Why not? Dude, I put it on my mom, man. I had never been so scared in my life. I was terrified. Like, I didn't have the best headphones for it, but just putting on the gear and then, like, not hearing anything, and you're just immersed in this game. I was terrified. I was done. But you know
it's,
what?
It's like scarier because like if you're like in a room by yourself, you never know if like someone's gonna creep in on you or like something's gonna be in there too.
Exactly. Like all your sensors are pretty much confined to this space, you know? Like I can't hear anything, I can't feel anything besides the vibrate on the controller. It was crazy, man. Hey, look, when this whole Rona thing is over, you guys are gonna try this thing out, man. It was wild. It was an experience.
I just imagine you playing the game and like someone's gonna sneak into your room and like they're gonna watch the screen and, like you're gonna get like a scary part and they're like tap your shoulder and be like.
Yeah, I might have a heart attack now. Anything's liable at that point.
Clean up on aisle 9. Clean up on aisle 9. I know. I would shit myself if that happened to me. Like someone, I had VR on and I was like going through like a scary map, and like someone just did that to me. I would absolutely shit myself.
Yeah, it.
Yeah, I don't remember which DLC it was for 7, Adam, but you can clearly tell that they made this DLC based on the fact that it's VR compatible. Because there are some explicit scenes during the mini games where, like, oh, this is clearly for VR.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the Resident Evil stuff going on over at Capcom. And I don't think we got a date for the RE8, but I'm gonna assume 2021 or 2023. It's got to be one of those years, because they're not gonna drop it with RE4 same year. There's no way.
I saw something that they said that they were going to drop it next year, and then the following year after that would be 2022 would be Resident Evil 4, because it would be the 4th game in a 4-year time period that Resident Evil games have come out.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. We're getting the Assassin's Creed treatment with content for Resident Evil.
I mean, you did say that they were going to have the Platinum and the Resident Evil team working on the same game, so they could split like half of the other team to like work on like any of the further iterations of the Resident Evil franchise.
Yeah, I feel like because clearly with RE3 the way it was, it's like, oh, because their others team is working on 4, and then I'm assuming they have the team from 7 working on 8 right now, and yeah, that's probably just what they're doing over there, Resident Evil.
Yeah. But if I had to put my money, I would say like 2022 or 2023 for sure, because the whole coronavirus stuff right now. So probably no one's like in the office right now doing anything. So
no, Carl, this is prime time. They have to make a game about a virus during the virus time. It won't be the best content.
It would be a waste of opportunity. You're actually right. This would be a good time to pull it out.
Yeah, I wonder how much we're gonna see in effect because the whole Corona stuff. Yeah.
I know there's like a lot of anime studios right now that are being hit super hard from it.
Oh yeah, because these studios, they like to outsource as well to Korea most of the time, and I know they got hit pretty hard. I think.
I know there's like been a couple voice actors that have already died from coronavirus too. I can't remember names.
Yeah, since we're talking Resident Evil, the original voice actor for Leon passed away recently, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That sucks, dude.
Unfortunate days. It warrants a replay for Resident Evil 4. That's for sure.
Play that game.
Yeah, I haven't touched the series still, so we'll just wait on that.
I still remember the most iconic thing from like 4. I mean, I know I haven't played it, but like, was it the seller guy?
Oh,
like,
what are you buying?
What are you buying? who was it again on YouTube? It was like the guy who went to like a grocery store and he like goes up to random people's like, what are you buying?
Dude.
And he has like
I wish I could remember. I wish I could remember, but yes, man, I guess that would work in this time too, huh? Just have like stacks of toilet paper.
Yeah, imagine like you go to Costco and you see like a trench coat and a warrior boy. And he has like sanitizer and like, all the works, like hand wipes and like baby wipes and everything.
Yeah, man. So, moving on, this I felt is interesting what they're doing here. So, Sucker Punch, right? They're working on Ghost of Tsushima, which last I checked, I don't think this got delayed yet. So, this still has the June release date.
Have they thrown out more trailers for that? Because I've only remember the one that had at E3 like a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, no, there was some gameplay trailers. There was the trailer from I think 2 months ago when they announced the release date.
Okay. How do you feel about that one? Like, how do you feel about Ghost of Tsushima in comparison to like other Edo era Japan style games?
So I haven't really looked at the gameplay a whole lot. I just kind of only seen just the E3 trailer and just a couple things here and there. I think it's fine. I saw some of this stuff that Sucker Punch usually does, right? So this is probably going to have an Infamous type of feel to it. And it still looks really nice. Like, it looks amazing. And the interesting part right here with this game is they announced the other day that this game's not going to have any waypoints for your objectives. Yeah, instead they want you to use landmarks that's throughout the world.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Give me the difficulty.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's-
crazy because some games I've thought about like that before, like when you play God of War Horizon, you could edit your HUD, right, to get rid of a few things, and one of them is like the map, the waypoint, and all that. But just not to have it as an option, that's pretty ambitious for this game.
I think. Well, I know the first few Halos, they didn't necessarily do that outright, but it was essentially like that, where you didn't get like a clear indication of where to go, so you get lost pretty easily. But you still like find stuff wherever you go, though, so it's not like you're wasting your time.
Yeah, no, I mean, like when I played Bloodborne, a while I think 2 years ago now, I did recognize a few things, and then I was like, okay, I kind of know where I'm at. And it's the same when I play other games as well. But yeah, that's crazy. Like, no, like I don't even think because you don't have to look at your compass or your map. On screen you would see an icon pointing to your objective. For certain games, that's probably not even going to be in here either. So they're going to tell you like, hey, you have to go over here to the, I don't know, like this castle or something. You're going to have to figure out your way to go over there.
But that really does add a lot to the fun, where you have no idea what to do, and you're kind of just like thrown into the world. And like when you start with like as a nobody, you really do feel like you are that nobody who's like in a world full of like mysticism, and you just need to find a place in the world, which is, I think it really does like pull you into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool they're doing that.
So I wonder if this game is going to have AI companions with you when you travel. Because I don't know if you noticed it, Adam, but in the remake for FF7, if you're going the wrong way, characters will tell you that, hey, like that's a dead end or that's not the right way. And there's also some visual cues at certain points of the game that show you like, hey, this is the wrong way.
Yeah, so if you're doing certain things in the main story and you try and like, oh, maybe I want to go to the shop or something, maybe I want to try out this side quest. No, it will not let you. It'll be like, it'll give you a barrier. Cloud will turn around and whoever you're with will be like, hey man, like we're supposed to be doing this right now. It's not until whoever you're with is like, oh hey, don't you can go and explore the town, pretty much. But I like the concept. I think it might work well. I'm rewatching the trailer of Ghost of Tsushima right now.
Yeah, just looking up the news for it. Yeah, it's expected it might get delayed. That might actually take Last of Us spot, which is September, which can make sense. But I think they're not going to delay it mainly because the game has already gone gold. So, and I think that was like late February, I want to say, before all the lockdown stuff happened. So they probably have already been making the copies of the disc, getting ready for shipment. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure we're still gonna get this June 26th date.
Are there still issues with people like? Have you guys been ordering stuff on like Amazon and like video games to get in? Do you still have like a huge delay or?
When I looked up FF7 on Amazon, it was not in stock. Well, it was in stock, but for like 160, 120, for the standard edition, yeah.
No.
I will say if you didn't pre-order your games, you'll probably see an inflated price.
Yeah.
Because I had got my Persona 5 Royal Thieves Edition for like $80, and then and I had just got it like because they'd opened up pre-orders like a week before the game came out. So I was like, oh fuck yeah, because I didn't actually pre-order it before that. And then when the game came in, I went back online because Jerry was like, hey, where'd you get your thing at? and he wanted the same edition I got for 80, but they upped the price like $100. So it was like 179.
No.
So I will say a lot of it's getting inflated. If you didn't pre-order it, it will tell you if your product will be delayed though. But I mean, some of the stuff I've been ordering, I've actually gotten like 1 to 2 days earlier.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I've been getting a few items in early as well. But yeah, I don't know if you guys saw, but yeah, the Switches, you just can't find them anywhere. But if you do find them online, the price is just going to be so jacked up.
Yeah, I was like looking at the stocks the other day. I was looking at Nintendo's, and it's Nintendo stock has literally just been keep going up ever since the coronavirus has started. So people are like buying shit ton of Switches and games right now too.
And Animal Crossing.
That too. That's probably the bigger boom too, because like as soon as Animal Crossing come out, people were waiting for that since like GameCube. So it's like been the biggest like increase in like revenue for Nintendo for sure.
And hey, speaking of Sony, while we're on the subject here, they decided like, hey guys, we know you're on a lockdown. These games right here, they're going to be on us. So right now until May, I think 15th or 16th, you could get the Uncharted Collection and Journey for free on PSN. They have a tab on their main on the main page, so you could just go over there and you could download them for free. Which is
Hell yeah.
What is it in?
It's live now. Ends on I think the 16th of May.
Oh, that's a wild one.
Yeah, but I should note, it's the Uncharted Collection and Journey, right? But these games have been free before on Plus, so I just found that interesting that they're throwing it up again.
I was
I'm probably
wondering
thinking
that.
about it.
Because I remember grabbing Journey on Plus a long time ago.
Oh yeah, it was a good while ago, and the Uncharted Collection was sometime last year, I believe. But it's also a good time for them to drop it for free because this month has Uncharted 4 for free on Plus. Yeah, and then I believe Lost Legacy is on sale for the spring sale as well, so you could get the entire series for a pretty good deal, man.
It's probably for like all the new people that are probably getting PSN right now because they got nothing to do. So why not just get a free game? Also, if they miss opportunity, then they can get it now. If they want.
Yeah, and the Uncharted trilogy is a great one to play. Definitely spend a good amount of hours on that. And finally, from PlayStation, I think this is what they said, but PlayStation 5 is looking to have a limited supply from initial release.
Ooh.
Yeah, when it launches this year during holiday season. And there's a bunch of rumors going on around about why that is. Maybe because of this whole COVID situation. Maybe because of the price of the manufacturing cost for the console. We're just not entirely sure on that.
Since they're going to be releasing the new consoles this year, I feel like this is going to bring back the whole. Well, depending on how the virus is going to be, it reminds me of like the same time where like consoles were like super popular and people like line up at the stores to go crazy to like fight each other for a console. I'm kind of thinking like the same thing might happen for like the PS5 and like the maybe not the Xbox as much, but I can see that happening with the PS5 right now because people have like, nothing else to do.
Yeah, man, we'll see during holiday season what the situation's going to be. In the public, anyways. Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess this was today. There was a PS5. There was a leak for Spider-Man 2
For PS5?
Yeah,
Oh,
because it's gonna be on PS5. Yeah. Yes, I guess stuff about. I guess like story content and all that.
I love that Spider-Man game, man. That was so good.
Did you play the DLCs for that?
No, I never did. I need to though.
I think they're on sale, man. If you grab that up.
I think I will.
So, Jump Force came back into the news the other day, right? And
DLC, baby.
Yeah, we got season 2, and we're also getting the Switch port, which is actually the deluxe edition of the game, which that means it includes season 1 and it's actually only $50. So that was surprising.
How much is it originally?
$60 for the base game, but yeah, it's with the DLC. It's gonna be $50 on Switch.
Cheaper.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The only thing I'd say I hope for is that maybe it'll run good. Hopefully, but I don't know.
I don't know how well that'll actually do.
Yeah, and
that's the thing. Whenever I see like they throw like Overwatch onto like the Nintendo Switch, for example, I feel like the queue times for that on the Switch must be like an hour. Because I mean, how many people are going to be playing Overwatch on the Switch? Really?
Yeah, and like how smooth is it gonna run? Like I know like Switch is a cool console, but like I know Doom 2016 is on there. Some intense games, are on there.
Yeah, it's just it's a problem with like any multiplayer game that's like been well established going on to like something it's old, but it's going on to another platform. It's not going to garner that much of a community on that platform because everyone has it already. Why would they want to?
Yeah, and plus, Jump Force, did not get the best reviews. People were still talking shit about it on the Twitter comments for the trailer for the new character coming in season 2, which is Todoroki. Right? It's Todoroki.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's the first one that they announced for it.
Yeah, man. So Season Pass 2, it's going to be 5 characters, which is pretty small. Well, I think. Well, no, I guess Season 1 was 8 characters. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's almost half the size of the Season 1 roster. And I don't get this part. Some of these games are doing this. But yeah, if you get the Season Pass, you get 4 days early access to the DLC characters. And I know MK does it, but I'm like, Jump Force? Like, honestly, who cares if you get early access to these characters? I know there's still an audience for this game, but come on, like you're not that big.
Right.
Yeah. And not only did they reveal how many characters are going to be, but they revealed which series these characters are going to be in. So yeah, we have Todoroki from My Hero, and then the next DLC character would be from Hunter x Hunter, and then Yu Yu Hakusho, Bleach, and then finally JoJo. Yeah, and I think it's cool that we're getting another JoJo and Hunter x Hunter, but at the same time, I'm like, man, we're still missing so much representation from Shonen Jump, and I think with this, it really shows that the Western impact decides like who we're getting in this game.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the Japanese fan base, it's big, and obviously they're marketing more so towards the Japanese fan base, but they're not big enough to like support the company to really invest that much money into it.
Well, it's not even,
and really, it's the U.S. is like throwing out the most money to like if we want to invest it into it like as much as they want to, but if the U.S. is not, then they're not going to invest that much.
Yeah, I mean, again, to compare it to J-Stars, right, which was the game before this one, because again, Jump Force, the reason it's here is because it's the game for the anniversary of the magazine Shonen Jump, right? So it's supposed to represent a celebration of, this magazine and like all the franchises and series that it's created. And you could clearly see that in J-Stars with just the vast characters that they picked, some really obscure old ones that I've never seen before from like the 80s and maybe even before that. And then to some, what I felt like were fan favorites, like Medaka Box, Beelzebub was in there. Gintama, was one.
So what do you think is like lacking in the popularity for Jump Force in the US? Is it like the combat system?
The combat
or,
system.
The lack of characters that could have been in there?
It's I think character choice as well, because the big series like Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, Dragon Ball, all those ones, they have multiple, like at minimum like 4 characters from each series in there, which is really a lot. There's only, I think, like maybe 2 female characters was another thing. The game just doesn't really look that good. Like, I don't know if you remember these videos, Carl, from like back in the day. It's like, oh, here's what, Spyro the Dragon looks in Unreal Engine. That's
I remember.
That's what this game feels like. And then like the when they released the game, they, the story mode was not finished at all. It looked so bad, to the point, right, where we have like quote unquote cutscenes with the characters. No real dialogue, I don't think, but you can clearly tell that they just grabbed the models that they use for the game, but the mouths were not intended to move or anything, so they overlaid the models with just like a mouth, and you could clearly tell because it does not look like it belongs on that.
Oh no,
yeah,
that doesn't sound very good, honestly.
Mm-hmm. And then again for me, it's the combat, because it's just your typical, anime fighting game, to where there's like, it's just easy to play, not a lot of complex stuff. They even have a mechanic to where if you mash a button when you're being comboed, you could burst out of the combo, and I was like, oh gosh, like this is just ridiculous.
I think that also applies to the problem where a lot of like Japanese games kind of go under the radar. Well, like anime, let's say not Japanese games, but like anime related games go under the radar because they're just reusing assets from the same company, because like a majority of them are from the same company, or they're either affiliated, and they just keep borrowing stuff from each other and just reusing the same stuff. So that's why it gets tiring after a while. I would
no, yeah, you're totally right, because Bandai, they have, I think they have all of the Shonen Jump games like under them, and they all just pretty much just play the same. If you play one My Hero, one's Justice, you're just gonna be playing some Naruto stuff. And then you even get some elements of that in Burning Blood, and then even here in Jump Force.
I know. Well, this kind of a little off, but I know with Pokemon, they for all the idle animations, when they're just like standing in place, they took the idle animations from like older generations and applied that to like Sword and Shield. So it's another example of companies using old assets they've had and just reusing them so they can save budget, but that does hurt the quality.
Yeah, I mean when they finally went 3D, Game Freak, they try to future proof their models, right? So that way you don't have to keep recreating all the models. But then they stumble the problem of, wait, how many Pokemon did we make already? Like, holy shnikes. Yeah,
quite a lot.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, man. So we don't have any info yet on these 4 DLC characters. I'm gonna assume we're more than likely gonna see the leak as soon as Todoroki drops, which is spring of this year. So which is actually coming up real soon. But yeah, since it's a Bandai game with DLC, we're gonna get a leak. We got the entire season 1 leaked for Jump Force. We have season 1 and 2 leaked for Dragon Ball FighterZ. So yeah, it's only a matter of time before we see who's coming in. But man, we should let's make some guesses, man. I know you don't want Hiei, right, Adam?
You look. As much as Yu Yu Hakusho is one of my favorite animes of all time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Seen it a lot. I do a yearly viewing of it. I do a yearly reading of it. I love Hiei as much as the next guy. Don't get me wrong, but I would really like to see some other representation, man. Maybe Kurama, Kuwabara. We can get Sansui in here. Like someone else, man. Like there are so many characters you can choose from. Dude, give me Cho in there, man. The Drunken Fist. Give me Jin. Anybody. Hiei would be cool, but I would like somebody else.
So Hiei would be cool, but I think they're probably going to pick him, which is going to be unfortunate because that's just going to bring more outrage from the community, right? Because Hiei was already in J-Stars, right? Just like with Madara, he was DLC, and they were like, why is he DLC? And then you look at his moveset, and it's essentially just the same in J-Stars, and it's just like, we should have had him instead of Kaguya type of deal. Yeah. I mean, like season 1, I was surprised by the roster they picked, like some of the characters. Like for Hunter x Hunter, for example, they picked Biscuit as DLC, which was a surprise. She's she teaches Gon, and oh god, what's his name?
I forgot she was in that game.
Yeah, she was season 1 DLC. But yeah, so they're probably gonna pick obvious choices for some of these. Well, at least I know for Yu Yu Hakusho, it'll probably more than likely be Hiei. But the other ones, I'm interested to see who they're gonna pick, especially Hunter x Hunter. I see this one. This person's prediction is the Chimera ant that they fight at the end. I forget his name, but the guy,
Oh,
basically Cell from Hunter x Hunter.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that would be pretty
Yeah,
sick.
and that would be a great addition because that guy's just ridiculous. But for Bleach, they added Grimjow in the last DLC, so I wonder who. I don't know who we could get. I don't know.
I mean, who would be a favorite? You know, I mentioned that fourth spot of Ukiura. He could probably be thrown in there.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna stick with this since they just announced that they are gonna bring back that last arc of Bleach to be animated. It's got to be a
man.
Quincy, man. It's got to be a Quincy, and I never read it. I don't know what they would even do for it, but
See, because if they pick somebody from this, it would have to be the king of the Quincy's. I forget his name, but that's like. But then how are you gonna implement him into this game? Like what's his fighting style gonna be like? I don't know. I see somebody's picked Byakuya as their choice, which yeah, that makes sense.
I'd be down for Byakuya.
Because I just don't know who else they would pick. Oh, Reggie's in the game already.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, I think he was in the base roster. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You know what always cracks me up, guys, about anything Shonen Jump related? People always include Natsu from Fairy Tail in there. And I just think that's funny because he is not Shonen Jump.
Is he?
He's from what is it? Weekly Shonen Sunday, I think he's from. Which is the one that has Nanatsu no Taizai. I think Detective Conan's in that magazine.
They haven't put Natsu in Jump Force at all?
No, he's not from Jump, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like I always see people
My
are
bad.
like, "Oh man, let's get Natsu like in this game," or like, "Oh, Natsu's in Shonen Jump." It's like, no, he's not. You guys are dumb.
Get your facts right.
Yeah, it's just funny.
Oh, you know who the Hunter x Hunter character could be that would also be kind of nice? I don't know if they really go for it, but I think it would be a pretty cool idea. The leader of that spider group. You know how I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Oh.
forget his name. Yeah, that'd be a good choice.
I think he would be pretty cool to add in there because I just saw that I finally found the roster. Just thought Hisoka's a character, so
He's in
I
there,
mean
right?
they have their fight, so
Yeah.
you know what? Come on, man. Or they might do that cat person that go and fucking murders.
Yeah, I know
Oh.
she's an important character. But Kurapika's in the game too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Wow. Yeah, I'm thinking probably just the Chimera guy. Is all I could think of for a big name.
hmm
Yeah. And then for JoJo, I'm actually thinking Giorno.
Giorno would be great.
Yeah, because Part 5, that was last year.
Mhm.
I could see them pulling
Because we
him
just
in.
have Jotaro and Dio in here, right?
Yeah, Jotaro and Dio are already in here, so you could have some. I don't remember if they do special dialogue between characters, but yeah, you have Giorno and Dio do something. So, but hey, speaking of, I guess, fighting games, it already happened, right, Adam? You got into that beta for Guilty Gear?
Yes. And I've been playing it the last 2 nights, man. Well, I didn't play last night, but I'm gonna play some more today. It's a lot of fun. I like it a lot. I think they should wait a little bit longer to drop the game, though.
Hmm.
I think there's still some more polishing that they could do, but even if they don't, I think it'll work out well, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do the classic Guilty Gear Blaze Blue thing where in a year or two, probably 2 years, hey, here's and like a deluxe edition of this game, or Strive 2, or Strive Accent Core Plus with all the characters from the first one and their DLC, and then here's some more characters, but then we also have some story to add in there. Like it's a common trope among those two games, so I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised with it, but I think it's still going to be a really good game, regardless.
Nice.
I think it'll bring back the fight. I think it'll be a really great addition to the fighting community right now. Along with Grand Blue.
Yeah, I'm betting they'll probably wait a while for Grand Blue, at least until they're done with the Season 1 DLC.
So I think they just dropped the third character at the beginning of this month.
Mm-hmm.
Arc Systems seriously does have like the best looking designs, or 3D models for a fighting game.
They do a great job, and I mean in Guilty Gear, man, it just looks so good. It's kind of like I was telling you, Danny, like, as I've been playing Grand Blue, like it's just so good. It looks amazing. It feels great. I have very little complaints about the game at all. But I'm very glad to have at least gotten the beta to try it out.
I heard, I think I was watching a documentary a little bit way back, how they developed the game. And you know how it has like the very 2D art style, but it's like 3D?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the way they did that is because they actually do animate it frame by frame. Because like normally when you do 3D game, you just, I think you have a graph and like the arm will move and you don't have to like do keyframes like in a traditional animation. But they frame like every single one, so they position it, and then they make it so the colors look flat. So also I think they do it so the light is coming from like a specific direction, because like when you look at like the older like a 2D like a fighters, you see like each model has like light coming from a certain direction. They're not all coming from the same direction, so it makes them look more 2D that way. So I think that they're doing the same thing with this game, which looks really nice.
Yeah, I've seen some clips on Twitter, and it's just, goddamn, this is real nice. Is that the combo numbers are in the background like that, Adam? Like super super huge on screen?
Yeah, they get bigger as the more you do damage with your combos. It's always been like that with Guilty Gear games.
Oh, has it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's that's a Guilty Gear thing for sure. It's also noticeable in Blaze Blue and Cross Tag.
Not gonna lie, man, that's pretty hype stuff right there.
Yeah, no, it's dude, and then just the fact that you can like kind of do the Dragon Ball Z thing, or the Dragon Ball Fighters thing, where like you knock out an opponent on the side, like on either side of the stage, and then you take them over to a different area of the match.
Mm-hmm.
I just love that. It works out really well.
Yeah, that's always really fun to see.
Can't wait for Evo 2021 when we can see this on the main
yeah,
stage.
2021. Yeah.
It's gonna be a while. I miss cons, man.
Yeah, man. The big two cons canceled this week, Comic-Con and Anime Expo.
No more seeing the homies for a while. Feels bad, man.
Dude, real talk, man.
Yeah, I'm just glad ALA was not affected by it. So that was great that we got to go to that.
We were super
because
lucky.
Of all this, probably ALA next year is going to be stupid packed, because everyone's going to be like, "Oh,
can't wait!
Now we can actually go to a con."
Everyone's going to spend a lot of money. I am everyone. I know which booths I'm going to go to.
Oh yeah, man! Oh yeah.
Oh, I know what booths I'm going to too. Then
Look, I'm coming just like with a book bag of clothes and a cooler of drinks, and I want to be able to fill the car on the way back.
You're gonna actually have like that neat like look. You can have like the glasses with like the circles on them, and then like your hair in like a ponytail or something, and like a huge backpack behind you too.
I'm telling you, be full backpacker out, but come back with everything. I'm ready. It's going to be a wild time.
So we got the announcement that Ninjala, that's the 8-player battle royale, going on Switch. That's gonna have an open beta on the 28th. So that's coming up real soon. Next week, actually, by the time this episode drops.
You said Ninjala?
Ninjala, yeah, that's like the Splatoon-looking battle royale, the melee one.
We gotta hop on stream for that one.
Yeah, I definitely want to try that game out because it looks pretty fun, and it's a melee battle royale. So that's gonna really change the game up. I'm hyped for that.
That'll be pretty interesting, actually. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Speaking of the end of the month here, Streets of Rage 4 got a new trailer, I believe, the other day. And it was rumored, and they confirmed it with here, that April 30th is going to be the release for Streets of Rage 4. Hey, man, I've been watching, I decided to start over Clone Wars, right? The CG show.
So I watched a lot of Rebels. I never watched too much of Clone Wars. How is it?
I'm liking it so far. Episode 1, it just starts you right off the bat into all the action and what's going on in this is like around the episode 2 era. I think the art design it's fine. I'm starting to like it more as I go through some episodes. I think I'm on episode 5 right now of season 1. It's cool stuff. I got used to the different voices for our main characters. Like Anakin, he definitely doesn't sound like
Obi-Wan.
Hayden. And Obi-Wan, he kind of sounds closer to Ian McKellen than I thought he would. So I'm kind of fine with that. And then Yoda kind of sounds the same. Grievous, I'm pretty sure it's just the same voice actor for him. But yeah, so far it's pretty cool, man. You could tell what year this was made just by like how lighting works on all the CG and all that. But yeah, I'm having a good time with that. I'm just slowly getting into it before the final season ends.
And that's over on Disney Plus, huh?
Yeah, they have it all on Disney Plus right now. That's where I'm watching it. But lastly, and definitely not least, man, finally got confirmed, Adam, our boy Sam Raimi is going to be directing Doctor Strange 2.
Dude, you have no idea how loud I yelled. I was having my morning smoke with my coffee outside, and I opened up Twitter, and the first thing I saw was that. I was like, "Yo, dude!" I swear, I probably should have scared the neighbors, man, because it was pretty loud. But I'm excited, big hype. And then I remembered I saw a video right after that, which is the one I told you about, Danny. I think earlier or later on that same day, from Spider-Man 2. Oh, what should we call him? Dr. Octopus? No. Dr. Squid?
Yeah.
No. Doctor Strange? Ooh, save that one. It's like, come on, man. Sam Raimi been teasing us this whole time. No, I'm excited.
No, man, I'm just like you. I'm super hyped for this. The only thing I do have question is whether or not this is going to delay Doctor Strange. I know the day got pushed back for it already, so it's 2022 now, I think. But with him coming in, he's probably going to have some rewrites onto the script, and then we'll just see where we go from there.
Danny, he can rewrite anything he wants, man. Look, if you could give me some crazy stuff and then add Bruce Campbell in there, because I don't know if you saw, but Bruce Campbell had made a tweet like that same day and was all, I'm pretty sure there's somebody who can fight the Good Doctor. And it's like, come on, man. We know you guys are like best friends. Just let it happen for the fans, dude.
Is it like Jesus turning water into wine kind of thing?
Yes. It's oh my gosh, man. I just can't wait. So yeah, he could take all the time he wants. I'll be happy with it.
And with hip hop artist Back Prince, he used to go by Look IRA. You might remember that last year. I reviewed his album Heliophobia, great album. He just dropped a new one called Loathe.
Oh, that's who that was.
Yes.
Ooh, I gotta look.
Yeah, it was just a few days ago when we recorded this. It's been listening to it on repeat for a while now. Really good stuff. It definitely gives me some throwback vibes. Some underground stuff for sure. Really great work. Great follow up to Heliophobia, and the features just killed it. Every single one of them. It's got our boys Kill Bill and Rav in here as well, and they also do a fantastic job too.
So how would I find So wait, does he go by Look IRA?
No,
What did he say,
he goes
or
by Back Prince now.
Back Prince. Okay.
Yeah, so if you go to his Bandcamp, you'll see it right there. It's going to be the outro for this episode, so I'll have a link in the description for that. As always, really great stuff. Yeah, definitely check him out.
Dude, I love Look. I guess Back Prince stuff. It's like the grimy kind of dark stuff that you've been looking for in like rap, and he's doing it like to justice.
Yeah, you could definitely feel it in his last album, and then you could feel some of that here, and just it's all really great stuff. And before we end off this episode, we do have some news. Marvel Talk is back, right? We just dropped a new episode this past weekend, and we're gonna be having it monthly now. It's gonna be dropping in the middle of the week or middle of the month on Saturdays, just until this whole situation dies down and we get more, pretty much just news and content to look at. So in the meantime, Marvel Talk's gonna be monthly. And then Adam, we have an announcement coming up real soon. Brand new episode coming out.
Yes, we do. We're finally back. I'm finally back off my butt on this stuff, man. BFM will be coming back. First episode will be coming down very shortly, probably within the next week or so. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's also going to be monthly, just due to quarantine and everyone's schedule, how we can figure it out. And, there's just a different approach, like I said, I want to do for it. So be on the lookout for it, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think everyone will like this first episode back.
Yes, and this is also going to be a monthly series as well. I believe we're deciding on the final Sunday of the month. We're going to be dropping it, so be on the lookout for that. We recently just added it to Spotify as well. And the older episodes are on there if you guys want to peep that. And you could just look up all our shows. Just type in Unverse Network and it should pop up. This podcast, Marvel Talk, and BFM as well.
In this time of need, when you have nothing else to do, you have a lot of time to spend, why not check out your boys? Check out their podcasts, check out what we're doing, check out their live streams, check out their social media. Why not?
Yeah, man, don't forget, again, me and Adam are streaming twitch.tv/Negator7 and twitch.tv/25thBAM Adam. Yeah, so with that, it's going to wrap us up today, guys. Thanks for swinging by. Unversepodcast@gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, we'd love to talk about on the next episode. Go ahead and give us a follow at Unverse Podcast. You can find the other shows there as well. And just to keep updated to when episodes drop. So that's going to be it, guys. Again, we're going to end the show here with some good old Back Prince. And we'll catch you on the next episode.
See you laters.
Later.
Yeah. Rap shit, baby. Cocaine lines line the surface. Rose shine, time is worthless. Artist fiction, artist bark for the marks. Contradictions in my idols kinda darken the sparks. I put my portions on display, a couple morsels, time to zero out. Trickle through my parcels, it's too late to take the hero's route. Fingertip the sequence, sing to grip the sequence. I write to free my Jesus, you would think I get to meet him. But I'm slowly dying in a Jeep Wrangler driver's seat. Fuck who got the juice this time, cause he ain't as nice as me. I don't like reflections, cause it ain't me that's looking back. Particularly Wiggin' brother, who am I to push it back? Get your ass beat for fucking with karma. I think it's UFC, on God I'm a martyr. I put my best fist forward if a dummy could bleed. Shit took me a couple years to see the dummy was me.
Y'all moves for a fest with the squad in my city. We don't do till it's lit. It ain't do nothing new till it's new. When it's pretty round, sound like pretty town found.